Welcome to What's Your Skroove, where we tell stories, share experiences, and get inside the minds of artists, athletes, creators, and musicians. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 26 of What's Your Skroove. Right when we start, the wind picks up. We are live from Belle, right outside of Detroit, in between Detroit and Canada, with our guest, Gina Bologna, who, fun fact, is our first reoccurring guest. Her first episode was on episode 7.
Yes.
And you don't need to watch these in order, but if you enjoy this episode, I highly recommend going back and hearing more about Gina's very interesting journey.
Episode 7 was good. That was long.
That was a
long.
long
It was
episode.
And we drank, and I think that's the most highly intoxicated we've been on a podcast.
Yeah.
We drank a lot.
Yeah, we
I'm
did.
surprised.
We mixed
There's a lot of
beer and
laughs.
liquor, and yeah,
A lot
it was
of
a good
laughs
time.
in that episode.
And that was at your house, right?
It was.
Well, we posted on social media saying, hey, we're going to record a podcast tomorrow. Send us some questions. Gina said, hey, when are you guys doing this? I'm back from New York.
That was her question. It's
So
been
like,
answered.
dude, come on the
we
podcast.
answered the call.
Got submitted.
So, yeah, she got to be the first reoccurring guest, and hopefully many more times.
Amazing.
Because we still have to go out and visit you in New York.
You do.
We were just talking to, so we are filming this on 7/11. What is that, July 11th?
Yeah.
And we got like our Slurpees right before we came here. That's why our tongues are blue. We got this Captain Crunch slushy Slurpee. Is it a Slurpee?
Slurpee.
Slurpee.
Well, everyone says something different. I say Slurpee.
I feel like
It's-
slushy's
it's-
more like icy.
So-
Like,
it's
a
Slurpee for
Slurpee is like
sure.
what you get at
Slurpee.
like the carnival, and they put like they pump like the fruit juice. That's
In New
a
York,
slushy.
everyone
yeah.
calls them freezes.
Really?
Yeah.
What, a Slurpee or a
Yeah,
slushie?
a Slurpee is a freeze.
Really?
Yeah.
No, yeah, a slushy for sure
It's
is
ice,
like you get the
shredded
chunked
ice.
ice, and then they pump the flavor,
Yeah.
the fructose syrup
Yeah.
into it. A
Slurpee.
Slurpee is like pre-made in the little ice, the cement machine
Like
style
it's
spinner.
drinkable.
It's icy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get it at your local 7-Eleven. Thank you to our sponsor, 7-Eleven, for making I'm just kidding. So yeah, and then we got this. Gina goes, "So did you get the Captain Crunch one?" I don't know how she knew that, but how did you know that?
It's the hot topic right now.
It's all over
Everyone in
social.
Michigan is talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that
the
is what we
Captain Crunch
got.
one.
So we were in line, and this guy goes, "Dude, don't get that. It's the worst one."
As mine was half full.
As
already.
Kenny's was half full, not half empty. He goes, "It tastes like somebody, tastes like all like the little crumbs at the bottom of a Captain Crunch berries box, was like put in a Slurpee." I swear to God, it tastes
Yeah,
exactly like that.
That was a very good.
It was like spot
assimilation.
on. It was kind of weird how.
Did you try it yet?
No.
That's good. I got some in the car. It's probably be all melted. You can have it when we get done.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's even got like a
That sounds great.
bready grain taste.
It does. It's kind of weird.
I liked it,
Ooh,
but
hey,
it's
there's
very
a,
weird.
there's a squirrel over there.
Things you don't see in a podcast studio.
Yeah.
That's another thing we're doing. So when we're on
I thought
the
it was
road,
an otter for a second.
we say things you don't see in a podcast studio. Police training.
Yeah. You got cops over there training, like doing a little.
I thought they were pulling
driving
me over when
course.
I was driving in,
Oh,
and I was
man.
like, "Fuck."
We saw somebody get busted in Taco Bell on our way here.
And on the expressway.
I'm not surprised.
I mean,
I've seen a lot of cops the last couple days. It's
Yeah.
weird.
that's
Detroit, there's a lot of cops.
That's probably a good thing.
Maybe
Alright.
the warm weather brings them out.
I'm sure it does.
They just go away and hibernate for the winter.
You
Alright.
guys hear that music?
Yeah. Is that on the mainland?
I don't know if it's coming
I
from
think it's
Canada or that thing over there.
Is it from a boat? Is there a boat?
I don't really see one.
I think it's super cool that we're like right between the U.S. and Canada. It's like international waters.
Did Felicia Fullwood, the photographer we did the Band and Buildings with, she was on the podcast too, didn't they? She was telling us the facts that Canada pretty much like gave it to us.
I believe they gifted it to us, yeah. And then another fun fact about
They
U.S.
messed
Canada. Oh, what?
This is cool.
It is very cool. We U.S. and Canada. It was a trivia question when we won our trivia night. See the vlog in 60 seconds. Jay's penalty box, which unfortunately they didn't have it last night. I was really looking forward to that. Gina was going to come with us. But what is the longest undefended border in the entire world? It is the border between U.S. and Canada.
Mhm.
So if you ever get that in your bar trivia, now you know.
Demilitarized.
Or demilitarized, yeah, something like that. I don't know if it meant length, or length
Girth.
of time or girth. Yeah, who knows? There's no telling. All right, so we can get right into it. Discover Weekly. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, Discover Weekly. I will go.
So those of you who haven't listened, Discover Weekly is a segment where
Here, explain to Gina.
All right, Gina. Discover Weekly is a segment where we talk about something we've read, watched, bought, consumed in any way that has brought some value to us, and we feel like maybe it could help some of our listeners.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a book this week. Hello?
Nerd.
Is that your phone?
No.
Is that your
There's
horn?
there's a horn.
I'm gonna do a book. I bought it I think in February. I think it's the first ebook I bought. Discipline Equals Freedom by
Jocko Willink?
Jocko Willink. Is there like a retired Navy SEAL commander? Dude's a badass, super inspirational. He's got a podcast. He's got like 3 or 4 books out there, but this book, Discipline Equals Freedom, is a cool kind of like a motivational self-help book. And the whole like basis of it is that like waking up early, having discipline in your life ultimately gives you more freedoms. Like waking up early and working out in the morning, having that daily discipline will help you, if you want to kind of eat junk food like periodically throughout the day, or have a healthy lifestyle. It's a lot easier to do it in the morning. That way you don't make excuses later in the day, and it kind of all starts. His big thing is like with your morning routine, and it translates through multiple facets of life. So I bought that book like on my phone. It's super easy to read. It took me like 2 or 3 days to read it. You could probably read it in a day, honestly. I started reading it again just a couple days ago because I knew I was going to talk about it. But it's super easy, and it's cool at the end. Like the second half of the book is all these different like workout routines that you can use for like beginner, intermediate. Like if you're at a gym or if you're just out traveling, like he talks about like no excuses. And if you're traveling out for business or on deployment or whatever, that there's obviously so many ways to be able to still work out and train and have that discipline in your life. So I thought that was really cool. And his podcast is freaking awesome.
His podcast is cool, and if you want like a nice introduction into Jocko's stuff, Tim Ferriss interviewed him on the Tim Ferriss show. Joe Rogan's interviewed him, I think, multiple times. So if you're looking for a segue into Jocko's stuff, I'd recommend starting with them because they kind of really open them up and give you and Tim Ferriss was the guy who actually told Jocko, hey, you got some stuff here. You need to put pen to paper, get on Twitter, get on social, kind of enlighten these people. And
he's like a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, wow.
And he used to tap out like 20 Navy SEALs, one right after the other. Like you roll with one, tap him out, and have another guy come in like 20 in a row.
if like you know anything about grappling, that I mean, like just rolling with one person is extremely excruciating and exhausting. So like this guy is a freaking, like you said, the whole no excuses thing. I hear like somebody was talking about how like when he travels, how like you do pull-ups and stuff like that. And I know I neglect to do pull-ups when we travel because you don't have a pull-up bar. What he'll do is he'll take a towel and go to like a parking garage and get like a steel beam or structure, and he can do them that way, which is something I never thought of. I just made an excuse and never did.
He's got a hilarious. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. And he'll always tweet and post a picture of like his watch because he gets up at like 4:30 every day and works out. And people are like, oh, like how do I wake up early? He goes, wake up early.
Right.
Like he's
how do you
very
work out?
matter
He goes,
of fact.
Work out.
Right.
he's such a badass. And like I switched this to my alarm in the morning, and he has like a 2.5 minute motivational speech. It's called like Good. And he talks about like, oh, like you sprained your ankle. Good, more time to read a book or something like that. And it's like this whole no excuse discipline mentality. Look that up on YouTube. It's a badass like motivational video.
I like that.
It's just called Jocko Willink Good. So yeah, that's my Discover Weekly.
Excellent. You want to go down the line? Do you have
Gina?
something? Did you bring something to the table?
I can talk about something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So when you guys told me about this, I was like thinking about like, because I haven't done anything productive lately.
That's not true. I follow her on social media.
No, when I drive home from New York, it's a 12-hour drive, and I'm doing it by myself, and so music like doesn't cut it for me anymore because I feel like I'm listening to the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so I've been listening to 2 different podcasts. I started with My Favorite Murder, which is just like almost like a guilty pleasure for me. And have you guys ever heard My Favorite Murder?
Is
Is that the 2 chicks that do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've never listened to it, but I've
so it's good. So it's 2 women out of California, and they talk about like real murders that happen, like true crime kind of stuff that happen, in the past, blah blah blah. And they just recently started having some guests on. They're pretty.
So
big.
what do they do? Like they.
So they like
dissect them? Or
they
what?
take basically the case files, and they just go through the case files of. They pick about 2 murders every single week and go through the case files of the murder.
Is that like in the public domain?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I guess like police reports are, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, very interesting.
And a lot of them are cases that have already been closed. Some of them are still open cases. They talked about like recently. I'm sure you've heard like the Golden State Killer was caught.
I did
you
not
hear about that?
No.
No, yeah, I did. Wasn't it like Patton Oswalt's deceased wife?
Yeah, so Michelle, which is his deceased wife, is the one who gathered pretty much all of the information that you're using for the case file. And then she passed away, and a guy named Paul Holes took over the case and worked on the case with her. And
didn't
then
she write a book or something?
She did, yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and that really just brought public awareness to the whole Golden State Killer case.
It's incredible what happens when you get like a million eyes on something like that.
And that's
like
really,
making a murderer.
That's really what it was. Is like all of a sudden you had all of these like young people on like Reddit and stuff like that, like compiling case files and like talking about like, oh, is the Golden State Killer, you know, the same as the Zodiac Killer and this and that, and like they were trying to make all of these like whatever. But anyways, he was recently caught because they took his the DNA that they did have in case file, and they put it on Ancestry.com.
Oh, wow.
And they found 3 of his relatives. And then from there, they looked at the relatives and said, all right, these are people that fit the MO. And then they ended up finding him from that.
That's crazy.
So it was really interesting. But that's
so
one.
were you saying that they were talking about that?
So yeah, so they like, whatever, they have, I digress, but they had a bunch of stuff about the Golden State Killer on. So when I'm driving home, that's one podcast I listen to. But the other one that I really want to talk about is called The Daily, and it's with the New York Times, and I forgot the guy's name that runs it, but he brings up a new topic every single week. And my favorite one that I listened to was about the medallion process of taxi drivers. I don't know if you know what that is. So these taxi drivers in New York City, they buy a medallion when they first get their taxi. So back in like the 80s and the 90s and stuff, these medallions were worth upward of like $300,000.
Is this a real like medallion?
No, it's like
is it a
the medallion is okay.
Like
so you know when you look at a taxi and there's the numbers at the top.
Yeah,
that's your medallion.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like this like gold plated.
Yeah,
like
no.
pirate like that's just my pirate
right
spirit.
So when you buy a medallion, it used to be like you buy it for $300,000, and then once you go to retire, you can sell off that medallion for a certain amount, and people were getting like $1.5 million for their medallions to drive this taxi. And so like these taxi drivers, when they were retiring, they were living a relatively great retirement.
Yeah.
And recently, once like Uber and stuff started coming about, the medallions aren't worth anything anymore. Like these guys are going to retire here. They've worked their entire life.
Was that like their retirement plan?
Yeah, that is their retirement plan. And you know, once you work something for so long, all of a sudden you're 60 years old and Uber's here and stuff like that, and then you look at your retirement and like from one day to the next it goes from, you know, 300,000 to 100,000 and you have a family and you can't retire. And so they did this whole podcast was about, they went on a taxi ride and they interviewed a taxi driver about his medallion because his friend recently, what's happening is these taxi drivers are committing suicide.
Oh, wow.
And it's like this whole epidemic. And all they want is, so taxi drivers in New York have to pay a certain fee in order to drive in New York City.
Right.
And their only argument, the only thing that they want now is everyone who's doing Uber should have to pay the same fee because they're driving in New York City as well.
They pay the state that, or the city?
They pay the city
it's
that.
Like a tax, right?
Yeah. So anyways, it goes on, and now it's just like, you know, this whole like political thing now. But it's really interesting. The Daily is like a really great podcast, and I have learned
it's just
a
like
lot.
Different news stories.
Yeah, it's just different news stories. They like.
Do you read the Times?
I do.
Really?
I do read the Times.
I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna adjust your mic just a little bit.
Did you buy like just like the phone subscription, or do you
well,
like
you get the hard copy
on the Apple podcast? Well, you listen to that for free, but then through my school that I go to, they give you a free like Time subscription.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
That's
like
cool.
CNN and all that, whatever.
Very cool.
Did they do the podcast with the taxi driver while he was like driving? Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and you hear all like the like noises in the background and the cars going past and stuff. You guys would really like it for just like the audio of
That's
it.
really
It's really great.
It sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
I might go listen to that.
You know, it's really good.
So it's called, just a quick recap for everybody. What are the names of the 2 shows?
My Favorite Murder and The Daily.
My Favorite Murder.
Do they do 2 murders in one episode?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah,
How long
those
do these normally go?
The My Favorite Murders are about an hour and a half, and then The Daily is only like 20-minute segments.
Do you know what these women, like, their background is? It'd be very interesting.
I'm not really sure. But they were totally like living like average lives and not doing anything related to true crime. And then they were just 2 girls who became friends and realized they both had like a passion for like true crime and like watching like 60 Minutes and Dayline and stuff like that, and like they just put that together and decided to make a podcast.
Are they like funny, or is
no,
it
they
pretty
are. They're really
serious
no,
and,
they're
like,
really
dark,
funny.
or
No,
what?
they're funny. They
Is
like
it?
make jokes about it, and like it's you feel comfortable while also like getting like really indulged in like serial killers. So it's kind
like
of a weird
driving
feeling.
back.
There's comedic relief so you can
to-
relax and not have anxiety,
Yeah.
but still be educated.
Yeah, so like I'm driving in the middle of the night,
Yeah, I was
but
just gonna
listening
say
to
like,
serial killers.
you're leaving New York at midnight and driving all the way through the night.
Really though. So, but it's fine. It's good. It's a good. They're both good. So.
They
A couple
have it.
people have told us about the murder one.
Logan
I'm pretty
Van
sure it's like
Havel's
one of the
girlfriend.
most popular podcasts.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
It's at least like top 5.
That's so crazy.
So.
That was a good Discover Weekly, Gina. Good work. All right. Mine is, this is big. This is a big thing. But it's more or less, the utility of it is Reddit. I didn't really ever use Reddit at all. I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was like, I mean, it kind of is, like a big blog. But it's kind of like a wiki page, an interactive, like, blog-style wiki page, I guess. Anyway, most people know what Reddit is. But
I didn't know what it was.
I didn't really know what it was until my little brother introduced me to it. And for me, it is one of the greatest resources for sifting through good and bad information, in the sense of, like when you Google anything, when I like want to learn something, for example, I was like, okay, I moved to Detroit and I was trying to figure out which internet company to use. And I hate spending my time calling Comcast, Xfinity, AT&T, calling everybody, Google Fiber, all these different companies, getting the numbers. That's a waste of my time. Like, you know what I mean? I just want and it was very like not apparent from people's websites, so I just posted in Reddit. I was like, hey guys, went to like the technology subreddit, and I posted the same thing in like 3 or 4 different subreddits. Hey guys, just moved to Detroit. There's this internet company called Wow, along with these other ones. This is the megabyte speed, what router combo, and everybody gave me all these answers, and it was a consistent answer, and I had to do virtually no research in it. The internet we have is like incredible. It uploads our videos like a 10-minute vlog in like 5 minutes.
It's really good, and the service was really good too.
It's the price is great, the service is great. So like I love Reddit. As I don't really just like scroll Reddit like I will Instagram. I like it as a resource. And the other thing I really realized is everything you see that's reposted by like these popular accounts came from Reddit. Almost everything on the internet. I mean,
Like
it's called
funny videos and stuff.
Funny videos, memes, GIFs. They all usually start on Reddit, and like that's what the slang term is. Reddit. That's the front page of the internet. That's like their.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I use it all the time as a resource. Oh, I'm looking to do this camera. Like when I bought this camera, the G7X, I'm like, is there a big enough difference between the Mark II, Mark I, Sony versus Canon on this, price differential, and people come in and just tell you, I have this, I've used this, and you have all these experts, millions and millions of people. And the best part about Reddit is it's a karma-based system. So people have karma based off how other people upvote and downvote their posts and comments. So you can see how credible somebody is that's telling you your answer. So if you get 10 answers and you know 5 of them are very credible people, have a lot of karma, then you can trust the information. So it's kind of this decentralized unit of way to find information. So my thing is Reddit. I think it's an incredible tool. I can't stand sifting through the internet to find the best information. I don't have the attention span for that. So that's my Discover Weekly, and there's a lot of fun stuff on there. Like you can, like I follow like the prequel memes, and it's about the Star Wars prequels, and it's this like cult following of 200. It was, I think until recently, it was the largest subreddit on Reddit, and it's like this huge cult of people who just like love to make memes about Star Wars, and like it's crazy.
No, you can get lost in some of those forums.
Those
like
threads.
Do you use Reddit regularly?
I use it quite a bit, especially when it comes to like a lot of like photo gear and stuff like that. I'll do the same thing where I'll read what people's like reviews on different products are and this and that.
Do you make a post, or do you just like look up?
I'm mostly like a lot of the times the stuff that I'm looking up is already like someone's already asked a similar question.
Yep.
And even like if I'm just doing product searches, like I'll just like search like just a name of something and see what people are talking about along with it. But and then like even going back to serial killers, when the Golden State Killer thing came out, there is a massive Reddit thread about the Golden State Killer, and people just like are debunking all of this stuff.
Very interesting.
And you're like, who are the real like cops right now? Like it's
Yeah.
really like these
It's so
guys
interesting.
are like so. There's so much knowledge that people have that they're just like. And like then they're like feeding off of each other, and it's really you can read some of those threads.
Those threads are so the way
Yeah.
these strangers interact.
Yeah.
And a couple other things I want to touch on with Reddit and tips. So like what you brought up is an excellent point. One, another way you can use Reddit, like I think everybody understands how to use like the entertainment portion of it, but as a tool, number one, there's like a subreddit like photo critique or video critique.
Right.
So if I wanted to, it's something I want to start doing. You can post your vlogs in there or your photos, and people who are, you know, you can look at their page. Fantastic photographers will say, you just say, give me advice. Like, oh, maybe up your exposure, do this, do different things, and they'll tell you how to edit.
Right.
And you can really learn constructively from professionals and creatives in your industry. I mean, on a scale that's almost unprecedented, which I really like. And then number two is, when I Google something now, I almost always Google my thing, and then I say Reddit afterwards, and then it'll take you to the previously asked. Because a lot of the things you have to ask, somebody's already asked, and it's been answered 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So that's a quick way. Like, you know how like you would like, use like Google Scholar? Like I use like my version of Google Reddit. Like I'm like, which is the best camera lens for this price? Reddit, and then it'll give me all the answers on Reddit.
I haven't
Right.
used Google Scholar since 11th grade English.
I didn't even use it then, baby.
Can you? Is there a search bar in Reddit though? So like when Gina's like looking up stuff, is there a search bar?
I think
that
you can
just
put
type
anything
stuff
in there.
Yeah,
I-
yeah, you can search.
Yeah.
Can ya?
Yeah,
I usually just go right from Google because I'm lazy, and Google's my homepage. But
Really?
yeah, so
yeah, you can search through it.
Yeah, I'll have to get it in.
It's a
I
very
made an
good
account when
tool.
you made one, but I haven't used it at
Yeah.
all.
and I have like a ton of karma because there was like one post that like I made like a witty remark on, and it got like 900 upvotes. So
Yeah.
now whenever I post,
No,
I get like
that's great.
answered right away
Yeah.
because I have good karma.
Yeah.
I got like really lucky on that.
People
so.
can see that when you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can see people's karma.
Yeah, and you're depending on how much you have, like your thread will be higher up in like the schematics of things because like
Which incentivizes people to answer other people's
Right.
questions because they get karma
Right.
and then they have better
Well,
results.
then it
Right.
also goes the other way, so there's no trolls and like people.
Right.
like-
yeah,
Yeah, it's very decentralized. It's really unlike anything out there. It's like the Bitcoin of like, if you want to look at it that way of information.
Like social media kind of.
And then there's also the entertainment factor. Like you can get anything on there.
yeah,
I know people who will like, not that I'm advocating this, but people will type in like when the NHL playoffs were going on,
Yeah.
and they don't have, let's say, people just have Netflix, so they don't have cable anymore. They'll search NHL playoff game, and people on Reddit will live stream or post the links
Yeah.
to it. So
Sports
it's
teams.
very like
I've heard a lot of people doing that with sports.
Reddit is
Yeah.
so millennial in my opinion. Like it's so like that culture.
yeah.
Is it considered? Is it like social media? Is that what it is?
No, it's just like an online forum.
It's a giant
forum.
Yeah,
But it's so strange.
Yeah,
I-
it's cool though.
It looks super old-fashioned.
That's what I love about it. It looks very like
Yeah, the interface of it
90s.
is definitely like very like straight to the point, simple. But once you like divulge in the information and everything, like it doesn't need to be anything else. It doesn't need like a
Right.
different interface. It's just like it is what it is, and like it's straight to the point, and this is what you need to know.
And
Are
not
there
only
ads
with
on
the
it?
yes, there are ads.
Because I know they do
But
like
the
Reddit
ads are
AMAs.
catered. Yeah, well, the ads are catered to like your subreddits, which is kind of nice. Everybody complains about ads, but they're not going away.
Well, the thing is, you have to have ads. I mean,
You have-
now
that's what
you
makes
have
a site
because
great.
no one's. I mean, honest, Reddit is big enough where they could run a subscription basis,
I'd pay for it.
but someone else would come up with
Do
the
the same
same
thing,
thing
yeah.
and not have a subscription base.
So I agree, and everybody that I talk to, almost everybody, I guess I'm painting with a wide brush here, complains and they say, "Oh, I hate all these ads." I don't mind ads if it's relevant to products I'm interested in.
Right.
The ads on Reddit are relative to your subreddits. So if you're
Right.
following videography, well, would you rather have a ad for this pill that you're never going to take, or an ad for a camera lens that's on sale that maybe you're going to buy?
Isn't that like everyone's advertisements lately though? Because like anytime I go on Facebook now, like the advertisements are for stuff that I like
Right.
Google.
That's what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about.
which is
yeah.
creepy.
And, well, people are upset about that,
knows.
but I would rather have that than generic shit I don't care about. Like, if it's going to be there, I've bought products based off that. Like, I've been searching for it. I think I bought my guitar that way. I was looking for guitars, and I got, caught with a Facebook ad for the guitar I ended up buying.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm like, privacy is an interesting concept, and, that's, Facebook's in a ton of trouble with that right now, because I guess I don't really know the specifics of what happened, but they said that they weren't outsourcing it to businesses or something, and I guess they were data mining a little bit, which is illegal.
Yeah.
But Reddit. Oh, the other thing about like the subreddits too is there's moderators. So there's people who are in charge of them, and if people are like dicking around or not doing things properly, like they'll boot you right off of it. So, as social media becomes more, I don't know. Cynical is not the right word because people are people. Like that's why I just turned to Reddit because I feel like it's probably one of the most positive forms. It's very community based, and I really like it. So if you haven't checked out Reddit, if you're weird like me and haven't really used it until like 6 months ago,
I also like it because it's like the only thing that you don't have to like handle all of this information about yourself. You know, you don't have to have like this massive like user profile and like a photo and this and that. Like it's just people like want like, hey, I want this and like I want to know this. Can you tell me? And like some guy in like Indonesia is going to answer your question for you.
Maybe that's why there is that negativity is a little bit absent because there's no attention. Like if you're on Instagram, you're trying to get people will do whatever they can to get attention.
Right. It's very surface level. Yeah. Like
you have a name
exactly
in a little AVI, which is never even anybody's picture. You know what I mean? It's always like something goofy.
Right.
You know, it's not anybody's. Sometimes it is real face, but yeah, that's a very. I'm glad you said that. Actually, that's an excellent point.
See, Xbox is the same way, but I still get made fun of a lot. Maybe if you were better.
My mom.
yeah. Or because I suck at Fortnite.
Maybe that's what it is. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was a good one, Reddit.
Yeah,
I'll have to dive more into it and.
You'll get lost, dude. Like you'll go in there.
Do you do it on your phone or your computer?
It's made for the computer. I have it on my phone, but like.
Same with you, Gina.
I've never used it on my phone.
Oh really?
I have it in case like I don't.
I can't see how well that would translate to a mobile app.
It really doesn't.
Just because like there's so much
desktop,
and like it would just be so much scrolling and like.
And the way the threads stack, like and everything's condensed. Yeah. It's not Reddit's fault. It's the style of their brand. It's weird. You like choose to get on Reddit.
Yeah, but it's a good thing to just like sit on your laptop and something and scroll through. Yeah, and like you're learning something along the way.
Yeah, it
seems like a good resource to learn stuff. Yeah, Gina keeps coughing because she goes, ever since I came back to Michigan, I have my allergies, and we had a great idea. Why don't we just went outside? Record a podcast outside.
The worst allergies.
Yeah, I don't really have allergies.
I never had them until recently.
Really?
And I'm like...
Never had them when you were growing up?
No. It's so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Like you're telling me like the concrete buildings don't like emit pollen and stuff like that?
Yeah, you think, you know.
Well, that's really strange because I've always had like bad spring and fall allergies, and this is the first year that I didn't have a problem. Really
that's
so
strange. Weird.
And they said it was supposed to be the worst year for it because like everything frosted like so late.
Right.
Or defrosted. Anyway. All right.
Are we going on to weekend recap?
We can do weekend recap. So, what did we do last weekend?
We celebrated the 4th of July.
4th of July. So,
what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do for that?
Let's talk about Packard's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
She got that puppy.
She got that puppy. Yeah, that's where I was for 4th. But no, tell me about your weekend. I want to hear it. It looked fun. I saw your videos.
So, like,
How do you know what we did?
Yeah, you followed us, everybody. Like, we post every day of our life. So, like, right when we got back from Colorado, like, we drove straight through from Colorado to Michigan because we had, like, 4 drivers, just kept cycling.
We had a wedding.
Did you do any podcasts with anyone in Colorado?
No.
Just ourselves.
Okay. We were going to try and link it with our buddy Aaron Snyder, but it didn't happen.
You guys should, like, find some random guy at a truck stop and be like...
A trucker?
Yeah. You, like,
do it, hop in his cab, and just wherever he's going, that's where we end up.
That's just so fun. Anyways.
Oh have him hit the horn, like, every 10 minutes.
Dude, no. Hey, man, you ask. No, you ask. Hey, can we hit your horn? Yeah.
It's like the whole podcast.
Yeah, I know. We love the
Skroove podcast, episode 30. We blow a trucker's horn.
There you go. There you go.
That might have some legs. Oh, man. All right, so right when we got back, we drove up to Farwell, which is like right by Mount Pleasant. Our grandma's got a spot in a lake up there, and we were there for that night, and then the next day, Thursday, we went to Bruin Lake in Pinckney and stayed there for
2 nights.
2 nights. Then we went to Fenton and stayed there for a night, and then we came back. So we were all over the place, and
just a lot of time on the lake.
Lot of
beers,
a lot
of sun.
A lot of natural lights. A lot of natural lights.
What happened when you were jumping into the water on the rope. And you just
Tyler
Oh my!
fell.
Oh,
I thought you
can't-
broke your nose.
I thought I broke my wrist because like I did like the thing you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like why is that instinctual? Like that's the last thing you're supposed like just flop, like let your body hit.
I was like, is he drunk? Like, how did he let
No,
go?
no,
Because
I had
pretty
one
early.
beer.
you
that-
just let
that
go.
was pretty
no,
early in the
okay,
day.
so I'll take the blame
Give
for
him back.
it.
So we were in Bruin Lake.
Okay, we're in Bruin Lake. Go watch the vlog. It's on there, and I slowed it down for
really
you guys.
good. It's
like
really
I
good.
showed it at the beginning, then I showed it again, and then I slowed it down at like 50%, so you can really get the, enjoy that. I mean, go ahead and laugh at me because it was hilarious. I was laughing. So
Laugh at his expense.
there was this rope swing, and first off, the water was so damn shallow.
It
I
was.
said, it's like my
I was thinking like
calves.
maybe
Right.
trying to backflip off it. Then I saw little kids that it was like right
Yeah.
below their knee.
No, it was an awful placement. And then the best part was when you walk up, it's like a graveyard. There's all these other broken
Like
rope
7.
swings. I'm like, dude, this is like. So when's this one gonna break? Right? It's made for like little kids, I think, and we all went on it. So the girls had a genius idea of because it's their lake, so I'm thinking they've done this before. They're like, oh, we'll just pull you back. So I'm holding on, and they start pulling me back. Well, if you know anything about just basic anything, if you pull someone back far enough and your hands are below your feet, like you would have to be a freaking one of those people who can like hold themselves up for like a ladder to like hold. So like they pulled my feet above my head and I just couldn't hang on, and I just fell. I don't know what 4 feet and
It was fun.
cracked the ground pretty hard.
Oh my god.
We got a good chuckle out of it.
That was good.
But it was fun.
Yeah, just a lot of time in the lake, celebrating America's birthday. What about you, Gina?
Good.
When did you drive back? Oh, you had a wedding, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I was in a wedding last weekend. My good friend Ariana and her
Grande?
longtime, yes,
Cool.
and her longtime boyfriend, long time, like 10 years, long time,
Oh,
long
wow.
time.
For the longest
Yeah, they finally got married. So that was really
Did
fun.
you get white girl wasted?
I got so wasted, guys.
That's the best about weddings.
It was just, it was a shit show.
Did you dance a lot?
I did, and it was in Gaylord, up by Traverse City,
Mhm.
and so it was just really beautiful. It was on like this huge piece of property on a farm, and it was sweet. It was really nice.
Is your friend or is it family? What'd you say?
She's my friend, but she's basically family. Like it's one of those things.
Really?
So, yeah, it was really nice.
It's wedding season.
It is.
I think we
wedding
have 2 more
season.
left.
Ugh, there's so
Oh,
many
yeah.
of them.
Yeah, I love a good wedding.
Is that a boat? It is a boat.
On the pond?
No, like
Hashtag
over
see
think-
how
there?
quick it's
Ferry?
moving?
Yeah, hashtag things you don't see in a podcast studio. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing on Facebook, like the Bolbo Ferry or something like that?
Caught on fire.
Yeah, in Detroit.
No.
Yeah.
It's like a 110-year-old boat or something. Caught on fire. I don't
didn't hear
think
anything about
that's
that.
like a cruise ship or something.
Are you guys crashing the black tie event in Belle Isle on Saturday?
Oh my gosh, I didn't know
Nobody
that was
told us about
I didn't
this.
know that was a thing. Well, I went
Oh, yeah.
next segment's weekend preview. So
Sorry, guys. That was almost a fender bender over there. Hashtag things you don't see in a podcast studio.
somebody's upset. What's the event?
It's kind of like have you ever heard of Little Black Dress? It's like a thing they put on in Detroit every year, but they're doing something similar at Belle Isle on Saturday. I have tickets for it,
Really?
but
Oh, well, we don't want those. Rip them up and throw
Yeah.
them away.
That was an offer. Take it back. We're
I was
crashing the
just
damn
like,
thing.
Oh, Tyler and Kenny might go, but
Are you going?
I was thinking about it.
Really?
It's black tie though.
Oh,
Yeah.
What does that mean? You don't think? What the hell does that mean? You don't think we have black ties?
No, it's on Saturday though. If you wanted to go.
Really?
Dude, I said you don't think we have black ties. Like I don't know what black tie is.
Well, this Saturday, the only thing else, we didn't really have any plans, but then we
Pig
heard
and
about
whiskey.
yeah, the Pig and Whiskey in Ferndale.
Let me read you
What is
guys the
that?
description because
It's-
I don't know how to
Maybe I'll go
properly
to that
explain
instead.
it.
It's a big festival. I guess they close off like
They have a
9
lot of
Mile.
festivals this weekend. Italian Fest.
Where's that?
That's on Friday.
Grazie.
That's in Ferndale.
Ciao.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to do that for show.
All right, here we go. Pig and whiskey.
I've never heard something that sounds more like you guys than
Bunch
Pig and
of
Whiskey.
Yes.
like, meat
Meat
and
and
whiskey.
whiskey.
Meat
like-
and whiskey.
And I heard there's bands.
All right.
So Ron Swanson will be there.
Yes.
Got
we
it.
will. Where'd the description go? I had this pulled up because I knew I wouldn't be able to describe it properly.
I think
Okay. So, brand new to Pig and Whiskey, a special tent for connoisseurs of premium stuff. Find more than 40 premium whiskeys, scotches, and bourbons. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Exclusive to the top shelf tent. So basically, what it is I think a bunch of like bars on Woodward. Is it?
Okay.
Well, I think they closed the street
Yeah,
down.
they just
and then I
closed it
think
down.
it
Oh,
was like
it's on Woodward?
I think so.
no, I think it's on
I thought
9
Gina
Mile.
said it was.
No, I think it's on 9 Mile. No, it's not on. I don't think they
Okay,
closed on
anyway,
Woodward.
it's in Ferndale somewhere, and they
think they
close
closed
down
on
the
9
street,
Mile.
and they just fry up a bunch of meats and have a bunch of whiskey vendors.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
sounds
my
great.
And then I
dream.
think there's a band too, or bands.
I'm sure there
so
probably
yeah,
is.
Saturday.
So I'm pretty excited
I think
about
that's what
that.
we're doing Saturday.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So come to Ferndale.
Yeah, I probably will.
Let's just wear suits to it. Get really hot.
Oh my god, you're sweaty then. Oh, I mean, like you're sore at the end because you're so sweaty.
Yeah. The thing is, we really wouldn't get that drunk off just drinking whiskey either.
No. I mean, when we were, I love this. Is so. Were we in South Dakota? I think we were not. One of those states. When we were driving out.
One of those.
One of them. There was like, you have to understand, like, I mean, you've driven out there. Gas is every 30 miles. I think it was Wyoming actually.
Oh,
Gas is
yeah.
every like 30 miles.
No, it gets dangerous.
And then food is every like 50. So it's
Yeah.
like every other you'll get like maybe at McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
Or a Taco John's.
Or at Taco John's, which I'm really disappointed
said
we
there's
didn't
no
get to
Taco
try.
Bells. We didn't
I know
go
there's
there. We were
Taco
going
John's.
to. So Taco Bell's are just called Taco John's.
Taco John's.
It's weird.
So at one of the gas stations in the middle of nowhere was a whiskey distillery.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like free whiskey samples, so we stopped at that. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
When
And
I was driving through Idaho one time,
Did you got a potato?
they hell yeah.
Deep fried spud.
But they have like those signs, like you were just saying, every so many miles.
Right.
And it was must stop for gas now. Next gas station, 150 miles.
Really?
You're like 150 miles.
That's like some people's like
If
almost
entire
a full tank.
I was gonna say, what happens if your
yeah.
gas tank isn't that big? What happens if you have like a
it's
moped?
horrible.
You get a jerry can, a moped that gets incredible gas mileage. You put like one drop of gas in there, you get 50 miles at least.
One drop.
That's a scary
The
thing.
fumes run for 50 miles.
What is this, Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah. Or in the Rockies.
Yeah. So we have to do that. When are you going back to New York? You hang out here for a little bit?
Yeah, not till like next week sometime.
Really?
I'll be here for a bit.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go party.
Yeah.
While you're back.
John and Becky want you guys to come over.
Yeah, we
they
said
gonna
that
host
last
us?
time you were in.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get dinner. And
My
we never
dad.
did.
What
my
are we-
dad
what are we
just really
doing?
wants to meet Skroove.
All right, so are we like coming to your house,
You
or are we
can.
going out somewhere?
It doesn't matter.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah,
Let's
just tell us
seriously
the
set that
time.
up.
All right, we'll set it up.
I mean, our schedule's pretty open, so you let us know what works for you and your parents.
All right.
We're our fur coats.
We'll wear our fur coat. Oh, you just ruined it. Oh, they can't listen to this. Don't let them listen to this. We'll wear our fur
You
coats.
sent me that Snapchat of like, "Hey mom, what are you doing?" Like, look at this.
I know. I lost. Like she was like so into it. Like yeah, like she's reading the daily paper.
Literally,
except it
I'll like
was
wake
Skroove.
up in the morning and I'll hear my dad. It'll because my dad wakes up at like 6 in the morning to go to work, and I'll hear him in the kitchen because our whole house echoes, and he'll be on the iPad, and you'll just hear, "Hey guys, what's up? It's Tyler Kenny from Skroove, blah blah blah." And I'm like, I go downstairs, I'm like, "Dad, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, the Skroove guys came
That's
up on my
hilarious.
Facebook feed," and I'm like,
I
"All
love-
right."
I love that.
I do love that.
Your biggest fan is a 52-year-old man.
I love
named
it.
That's
Gina
okay.
Bologna from Romeo, Michigan.
Well, when we
Love
were
it.
driving and there's like a vlog or 60 seconds, your mom goes, "Oh, drive safe, have
Yeah.
fun, enjoy it," or something on Facebook.
Like,
I was
buckle
"Thanks,
up."
Becky."
yeah.
Thanks, Becky.
No, we appreciate their support.
I love it.
Yeah, let's definitely do that.
Someone's watching
Questions?
our stuff somewhere. Yeah, questions.
All right. Well,
So
then
weekend
this is,
preview is picking whiskey.
all right, this is a good lead into. I think we got some good questions. Or we have a lot of questions at least.
I think.
Um,
Go ahead.
Well, I just have a good like leading question
Go ahead.
from.
Get us started. Get us started.
You know, her parents watching, Gina's parents watching a lot of our content. Lexi said, "What's one thing you want to tell your Skroove support base?" And I would say, watch and share our content. That's a great way to help and spread the brand. You don't have to like buy anything.
Share.
How-
Yeah, you gotta share.
Shares, like
Shares
people
are
don't
so
realize
important.
how much value there is in a share. Like you kind of put your stamp of approval on it and cover your entire audience is now our audience, at least for
Right.
one video or photo. Yeah, that and like subscribing on YouTube and the podcast app. That's
Yeah.
something we're hurting bad on. Like in terms of it, because subscribing is a very like conscious thing, especially on YouTube. Nobody just goes on YouTube like or the podcast app. When you're on like Instagram, something come on your
Right.
newsfeed, click follow. So subscriptions are like super helpful.
Yeah, and that's the
Subscribe is
thing is
free.
like a lot of times, and I'm like very guilty of it, is I'll like listen to something and really love it. And especially recently it's podcasts. I don't really do YouTube very much, but on podcasts especially is like I'll get so pissed at myself because I won't subscribe.
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh, like why didn't I do that? Because like that was great. And so like they have the views, but they don't have the subscriptions because
Right.
everyone just like goes off the page and like does something else.
No, that's huge.
So like you have to remember.
That was a great question.
Subscribe.
Yeah,
subscribe and share. And just like if you don't want to spend money on a shirt,
that's fine. Totally understand it. Like
consume the content and share it.
Yeah.
Tell your
giving
friends.
feedback, like comments, likes, submitting questions, just like being active with the brand as much as possible. Like I can't say enough how much getting conversations going and things like that just goes miles and miles. You don't have to buy a product. If you're interested, that's great, but just being involved with the brand any way you can pays massive dividends.
And I'll just read her next one because it kind of goes off that too. If I receive an article of Skroove clothing, is it okay to tag you in a post? Absolutely. I mean, that's awesome. Like, if you buy something or you win something, yeah, give us a shout out, tag us in a post, because we love to see that stuff, and it's cool to see you guys like supporting us on social media.
And the people who do that, I mean, this isn't always, but very typically when people make those conscious efforts, we'll do extra things for them, send them extra stuff when they order, or do little things to keep them involved with the brand, to show them love back. So, you know, we like to try and reciprocate that. So that, yeah, very, very good questions, Lexi.
Do you guys have a like if someone wanted to be like a Skroove ambassador?
Yes.
We have a Skroove ambassador application.
Okay,
on our
you
website.
do.
Yeah, we get them. You know, like people say. We had a really creative one the other day that I had to laugh out loud at. It was good. It was a good application.
Yeah, this paragraph is funny.
Yeah,
but yes, we do.
Okay.
It's on our website. I think it's down towards.
It's a good highlight. Yeah, if you want to be a Skroove ambassador, go check it out. That was a good point, Gina.
Yeah.
Gina, do you have any questions?
I don't right now.
Okay.
I don't
Ty?
have anything.
It just seems appropriate. So Cole, our buddy Cole asked, how do we choose the best question? Because the best question gets a free shirt. This is a good thing to know, like when you're submitting stuff. Like, one, not a lot of questions get submitted, so just doing it, you're already in like a pretty good percentage of winning. But more or less, if you give us something that we can really run with.
Something that's far out.
Yeah, like
funny.
When we were doing
weird.
The live Q&A, we did like rapid fire, like quick.
Those were good. I liked the live Q&As. Yeah.
So we can do that again, but in these ones where they're not live, we'd rather have like 2 or 3 questions that we can really run with and have a lot of fun with, and like get like 10-15 minutes into the single question rather than like a yes or no, or you know, so anything that really thought-provoking is what we're really hoping
the more
for. To really challenge our own comfort. Yeah, we want to challenge our own mind and comfort, not something that's our first reaction. So that was Cole. I got a few more.
That was a good question by Cole. We've had some good like value-driven questions today, Lexi and Cole.
Yeah.
That was good.
Brian from Northwood,
nice.
Who actually went out. He great guy. We met him in Caseville.
Julia Lucido's friend.
Julia Lucido's friend. Wow, I totally butchered that. Anyway, he actually went out and made like a Skroove page like for the Northwood community.
Yeah.
So I love this guy.
Skroove it.
Skroove it is what it's called. Yeah. So this guy's he's a character, and we need to see him soon. But this is a good question, I think.
That was a good move, Brain.
Good. See, that's the heads up guerrilla marketing that we love. What was the hardest point we faced when starting our company?
Oh, that's a good one.
I didn't prep for this. I should have put some thought into it.
I would say just probably it wasn't a big obstacle, but just like kind of bootstrapping it and, you know, doing it all with our own money.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I mean, it taught us some great values, like how to really stretch a penny. But, you know, there's times we'd always like to order more clothes or have more stickers or more like marketing dollars on Facebook. So I'd say it's one of the biggest hurdles, not, you know, asking people for money or taking out a loan or taking investments, which is something we never wanted to do. But bootstrapping it and just investing the money back in the business kind of just takes it slower. But I'm glad we went that route because we're building a brand, and that we realize this takes a long time, and this is nothing that we want to throw a bunch of money at and have it blow up very quickly because...
Well, I mean, let me rephrase that, because I think the way you said that could be misinterpreted. Well, so what bootstrapping is, for those of you that don't know, it's when you start a company without taking investments. So like, we used all of our own money to start our brand. And I guess what you mean by throw a bunch of money at it, we reinvest almost everything we make into the brand. He's saying from an outside perspective, somebody said, hey, I believe in what you're doing. You want $100,000 for 20% of your company. You know, that's not, you know, we value the brand, the organic, and our
it's like the organic
shares,
growth instead of just kind of like buying followers, if you will.
Right.
Which we had numerous people trying to invest.
I mean,
millions. And
I can't say his name, but it rhymes with Schmark Schmubin. And the .com boom. So yeah, I
It could
I
just
don't
be
know if you want to
challenging.
elaborate on that.
So
or
like
is
I
that
have a
it?
question.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
going after that, what's the hardest aspect of business that like you didn't foresee that like now you're like I didn't see that one coming? Like, is there anything that's like hard for you guys? Because like I know like in my world like I don't run my own company, but like in business there's like a lot of things that I'm like.
I think
oh.
it's things always take longer than you think.
That's
Okay.
a very good point.
They're like daily stuff, like something's kind of always seems to go wrong, and like in a video exporting it goes longer than you think some days, and just random little stuff can take longer than you think, and overall big picture,
Right.
a lot of stuff just takes.
Be unrealistic in your
way longer than
approach.
you think.
I think you need to be unrealistic in your approach to business and go big and do things the way you want to do them. But try and be as realistic as you can with like what you're saying, like time, because like
Just be very
that's a great
just be
answer.
patient.
Things take so much time. It's like whenever you do a project. If you've ever done a project ever, it always takes like 3 times longer. Whether it's redoing your deck or mowing the lawn, anything. It just takes. People always undervalue. So I think that's an excellent point.
There's like things like doing our own like finances and stuff like that, stuff that we had to learn that's so stupid, like just it's boring, I don't like
Right.
it, I'm not really the best at it, but we do it to save money and it's time consuming, so there's like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is always plan on shit taking 5 times longer
Right.
than you expect it to. That way you're not disappointed, you don't have expectations, and you're playing the long game. You're not kind of sitting there waiting for stuff to happen, and when it doesn't happen you're disappointed.
Right.
Kind of just enjoy the journey and realize that, hey, this is going to take some time. I'm just going to make the most of it,
Right.
while I'm doing it.
Right.
How did you phrase it? What did you ask exactly? You said.
So like what's an aspect of
Didn't
business that you
expect.
didn't expect? Or like what's
I guess like a challenge.
is it harder
to-
than what you expected? Like is there any
I think like one thing, and this isn't bad, good, or indifferent, and it's really not hard, but it's something to be aware of, is it's especially at this stage, and if you're doing something like building a brand, there's no textbook, and nobody, you have to figure out what you're doing every day.
Right.
Or else the day will get away from you every single time. If there's no one looking over your shoulder, no one holding you accountable. Okay, look at people who have normal jobs. Everyone, I just know from my friends, how much time I waste on my phone. Or, everyone's moonlighting on their phones anyway when they have someone over top of them.
Right.
And if you're not disciplined enough to really set a structure up every day, the day will truly get away from you.
That's easy for
And
that
you're
to
never going to
happen.
get fired. I mean, what'll happen is eventually you go broke. But it goes back to that Jocko Willink, discipline equals freedom. Having that structure, having systems to where you don't
Make
want the
sure
day to
shit
get away
gets
from
done.
you. But at the same time, what we're working on doing more of is getting the things that have to be done as early in the day as we can, and leaving 5 hours in a day to literally just walk around, explore, and leave room for serendipity,
Right.
which seems counterintuitive, but I think it's something that can't be measured and super important. So I think that's a good point. Is a good question. A good point is structure. Have structure in your day, or else it will get
That's
away
something
from
we're
you.
always working on. That's why I reread the book, is to
We're not perfect at it.
Yeah,
No way,
figure
man.
out how to implement more discipline so you can have more freedom and get the shit done that you want to get done, and have the
Right.
company and brand that you want to have. So
Right.
yeah, that was a good question.
And I didn't even. What was the question? What's the hardest? I think one of the hardest things, back to Brian's original question, and we got really lucky. I'm going to take a little different approach. I'm not going to say what was hardest for us, but I've probably had 10 of my peers, friends, people I met in college, people from my hometown call me up and just ask hey, I want to get started with. I have this idea. How do I get started? So, and I love doing these phone calls. Not that I know everything, but I know the startup process. So if anybody wants to reach out, it's so much fun to hear people's ideas. This is something I think a lot of people will struggle with, but we got really lucky and didn't have to. It's where do you start? Because you need an LLC and a tax ID number and get all your bank account stuff set up. Well, luckily, we had an excellent CPA. Shout out to Bill Morgan of Taylor and Morgan. He's our best friend's dad. So he really helped us. We sat down for 3 hours one day, and he answered all those questions that most people will spend Googling or searching. That process that stops, I think, so many people in their tracks because it is so overwhelming. I need to start a business. Am I an S corp? Am I a C corp? Am I a sole proprietorship? Am I a partnership? Am I an LLC? Who do I pay? How much is that going to cost? How much time does that take? How do I get a tax ID number? Am I a product based? Am I a service based?
Right.
Okay, it's the end of the year. There's taxes. Do I have an accountant? What? Like I know from conversations I've had with people who want to start something that I think scares them off big time. So I'm going to turn this into some advice. Find a good CPA. I think LegalZoom's probably a good resource. I've never used it, but I think that going into a person and going into a firm and sitting down with them and saying, hey, you know, I'm just getting started. Can you work with me at all? Cut me, you know, just help answer some questions. It's one of the best things you can do.
You know, thousands of people that do it every single day.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
So if someone else can do it, then like,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
that shouldn't deterge you.
But I think that that's something I've experienced a lot of people talking about, or I've had that conversation, and nobody's ever made it past the idea stage because I think that that's very intimidating for a lot of people.
Take action.
Well, and you're signing take action. You're signing
checklist
yourself over like.
But
I think that scares people.
Isn't
putting your pen to paper.
in my opinion, that's one of the biggest obstacles in business is, like you said, like making it past the idea stage.
100%.
Like that is like your obstacle at first, you know? Because to go from like, oh, I have this great idea, oh, I want to start this, to actually doing it, that is like a journey in itself.
I think that you couldn't have said it better. I think like if one thing was on my tombstone, it would be action. And it's something that Kenny's really helped me develop over the years, or we've worked together to develop. It's like
Action trumps all.
action, just doing it. Like people wait for the right. Like just I believe in just starting. It's like daily videos. Like not everyone's a home run, but I know that if I just do it every day,
Would you rather be right 2 times out of 3 or 7 out of 10?
Right.
You know, it's like
Right, exactly.
You give yourself more opportunity, more chances by taking action, doing things, creating
And
stuff.
that's how you get better. Doing daily videos, I'll be a better videographer 365 days from now than I was, 100 days ago since I started the vlog.
Absolutely.
And it gives the day structure. And yeah, so if there's one thing I could pass on to people, it just take action.
You don't have to have it all figured out.
No.
Because we're making
man.
this up as we go.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
everybody is.
You just
Right.
got to do it. You really got to
Right.
do it. And if anybody ever wants to reach out, shoot us an email or call. Like, we'd love to give any guidance we can.
Yeah, or buy a shirt, and in the description of when you bought the shirt, ask your question.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, $20 question.
I'm just kidding, yeah. WhatTheDuck@SkrooveCo.com.
Yes.
That's the lifeline to reach us.
Good question, Brian.
Any other questions?
Since we have Gina here, I figured this would be appropriate to answer.
Oh boy.
What's the greatest thing craziest. Can't read my own writing. What's the craziest thing you've seen and considered doing after seeing it at SVSU / a house party? This is from Sess, who's bought a lot of gear over the last year or so. So
What's it? What was it called? What's the craziest
like,
thing you've seen?
And then I think wanted to do after you've seen
Someone
it.
else answer this first. I'm gonna think about.
I have an answer.
Okay.
So, like in the townhomes, Campus Village, like a regular thing is like people just get on the roof, right? Like
Okay,
this is
yeah.
not an unregular thing.
Right.
And our particular unit was there was like a U shape, and we were at the end of the U by the laundry facility, and there was air condition. I think there were air conditioning units at the end, so you could climb on an air conditioner and very easily like reach the roof,
Which we've never done.
which we've never done.
But if we wanted to.
If we wanted to. No, so like we'd gotten up there plenty of time, or we got up
May
there
or
plenty
may
of
not
times to like I remember like when
Clean
there was
the
like,
gutters.
there was like the super moon or whatever, like as long as you're safe about it, it's fine. Like you could get up there and just sit, and like we got like awesome pictures and videos. And I think as long as you're not doing it at 2 a.m. when people are sleeping or being disrespectful.
You may not have accidentally smashed a 24-pack
on top of the roof. No, but I remember one time it was during a party, and I don't even think I had anything to drink yet. It was
That's shocking.
because like
That's a lie. That was a bold-faced lie.
No, because I think we had an intramural game, because like you know how they're at night,
Yeah.
like a lot of like the games, and
Yeah.
we came back from that, and our neighbors behind us were having a party, and I want to say something got stuck on the roof. And this is so stupid. I think something got stuck on the roof, like a frisbee. Why they were playing frisbee, I don't know. I goes, some people are gonna get up there. I'm like, I'll get up there. I'll go get it. So I get up.
full beard.
So I get on the roof to go get whatever this was, and then next thing you know, I'm a sucker for an audience, you know. Next thing I know, there's this like 50 people out in the like the courtyard chanting like "Run the roof!" Run. So I'm like, oh, this is fine. I'll do a little lap for these guys. So I start doing a little jog, and what's really hard to see at night are there's these little like little
air duct kind of things.
Yeah, not the stem for the air duct. There's little tiny like square things, probably like 4x4. Same color as the roof tile. Whoever designed that was an idiot. And I remember just going, I caught my foot on it, and again, if I wasn't such an agile little athlete, I think I would have ended up flat on my ass on the bottom on the floor below the roof. But yeah, don't climb roofs, kids. This is my disclaimer. It's not
I don't
safe.
know why you didn't drink before the intramural game, because I remember the St. Patrick's Day game.
Oh my God!
I was drinking all day for St.
Oh my
Patrick's
God.
Day, and I went to the game. I mean, you went to the game too.
Yeah.
I think we had 5 guys, 5-on-7,
Dude,
and we
it was
miraculously won. And
We were trashed.
yeah, I was pretty drunk, but I played at. I don't think I missed a pass. I was the quarterback. I think I hit every target that game.
I mean, you were like
felt like Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, that's Johnny football, man. So yeah, don't climb roofs. Be safe. But yeah, that was fun and funny. And thank God I didn't fall. But man, I'm a sucker for an audience. I tell you.
Gina, do you have any stories?
I mean, I can't think of anything like that crazy that would go on.
Yeah, I can't either.
That I'd be like, oh my God, I'd never do that, but now I'm gonna do it. But like, there was a lot of crazy things that like we were a part of and facilitated. But
I can tell another one, but we can't use names for this. Okay, so
Yeah.
no names. We'll give you some time to think, maybe. This is just really fun. It's not funny, but one time a friend of ours, or someone we knew at least, got so drunk, had a few too many drinks, and wound up in a random, like, went to, I think it was it was right at the beginning, it was like welcome weekend, so nobody knew their neighbors yet, and actually went to their neighbor's house instead of their own,
Oh, that happened to
and just like went to crash, like to go to bed.
Yeah.
And they were in the wrong place, and the neighbor didn't know who it was, called the police because there was a stranger like sleeping in
my
their bed.
God.
You did that?
And did you do that?
no, it
You
wasn't.
So you did that?
I did do that, but it wasn't. I don't know if it's me that.
It wasn't you.
No.
No. Oh,
I
so
did
this
that-
happened to
that
you
happened to
too.
me, yeah.
And then they called the police, and I think the police came. It was like a big ordeal, but I think it's hilarious in hindsight. Like,
That was fun.
Yeah,
looking
no,
back.
I was sleeping.
I didn't even know you did this.
I don't know. It was like it was like welcome weekend or something. But I went to go to bed, and I was walking to Shelby Packard's, and I don't know.
To be fair, at night and when you're drinking,
It's
all
so
those things look the
confusing. They
same.
all
Like,
look
I
the
mean, these
same,
are
yeah.
like condos, man.
And so like Shelby had was like at the bottom, and then Maddie Laskowski was upstairs, and so I was thinking Shelby was upstairs, or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. But I ended up like jumping over someone's, like, you know how they had like little like patio area on the bottom, like corners or whatever. So like I jumped over that and just like walked in through the patio door and like slept on the couch.
Oh
And the
my
next
God.
morning I woke up and I was like not in
Completely
my
wrong
friend's-
apartment.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
had no
God.
idea.
Well, I'm sure you
Wonderful.
didn't get the cops called on you at least.
Yeah, at least
You got
you
a good
did
night of
good.
sleep.
Honestly, I probably knew whose apartment it was, and they were like, "Oh, Gina slept here
it's
last
Gina.
night."
Well, everybody knew Gina.
And I just like woke up the next morning and like walked back to like Derek's or something. I don't know.
Oh,
but
that is wonderful.
yeah. No, that
Do you
was
have anything,
so
Kenny?
funny.
I can't really think of anything.
I'm gonna share one more story because
We
this
just
one's.
got drunk in college. Like we
just had
didn't
fun.
like.
Can't think of anything too crazy.
Yeah, like it wasn't like it was all in good fun.
I'm gonna tell one more story because it's relative to the brand. This is one of my last year, one of my favorite days. I wake up. No, I don't even think I was still going there. I think Ian, I don't even remember. No, yeah, I think my buddy Ian called me and said, "Hey, come up for a tailgate," because I hadn't
Okay.
been to one yet.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd been to one. I don't know, because I went to a couple. So he called me up, said, "Hey, come up for a tailgate." We went out Friday night. The game was Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Blah blah blah. I had a good time or whatever it was. Woke up. I get a phone call from my buddy Cole, and him and Austin Esser are on the phone, and they're like, a speaker, like, "Hey,
Cole.
what are you doing right now?" I'm like, "Oh, just getting around, blah blah blah." "Hey, dude, we're gonna go get a Skroove tattoo if that's all right, or we want to get a Skroove tattoo." So we ended up going to Voodoo Tattoo, and they got their Skroove tattoos. And the same day, it was the Beer Olympics.
Yeah.
and we were from like I think we were all 3 from different teams. So like we got back, we already missed like the first 2 events. So we formed like Colonial America as like our squad and came. And if you miss an event, like it's very hard to win. I think we missed 2, and we were in 2nd place by the end of the Beer Olympics. And there's some discrepancies on what really happened. I say I still have video footage. Maybe we'll plug it in the video. I say I won the shotgun beer contest for all the marbles, but I was told I got 2nd place. So in the same day of these guys getting the Skroove tattoos, we went back, ditched our teams because it already started, formed our own team, Colonial America, and
That's so funny.
debatably took the W home. But now we got 2nd.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were going with that. And are you going to go to Beer Olympics? And I was going to tell the story.
So Cole, Austin, and Chanda, we had that. Good work. Go ahead.
Of when Blair had her Beer Olympics. Our friend Blair had a Beer Olympics, and she was going to school to be a teacher. She's a gym teacher, so she had a bunch of
like game equipment.
Yeah. So we were Team Italy because we're Italian. Me and Tyler were matching. We had like the same pants and Serendipity t-shirts.
And hat.
And we were like, Blair, like this is a Beer Olympics ceremony. This is an Olympic ceremony. Do you have like a walkout? Do you have music playing? She goes, no. I was like, well, we need that. So we convinced her into having like a walkout ceremony. And me and Tyler were in the back, and we had like our 30 rack of Miller High Life, and we had like a march going, and then we had like a coordinated dance like when we got in front of the camera because she had her buddies videotape it all. And me and Tyler ended up taking home gold in that.
We did.
It was a glorious day.
We won.
I mean,
we were probably the lowest seed too in terms of predictions.
Yeah,
everybody counted us out.
Yeah, you had a torn ACL.
I had a torn ACL. I mean,
I had a 3-legged race. I had to practically
you just gotta be tough.
I practically dragged you through the 3-legged race.
I mean, it was like sacrifice. I probably tore more ligaments.
I said,
Tyler, I would do it again. I would do it again, and I would do it again.
ACL to my leg, so I can be your
There were a couple running events, and I put my belt in my mouth, and just kidding. It was and we won.
Yeah, just a couple of athletes that can drink anyone under the table.
And then, I mean, if you want to show up to play, you got to play. And people, I think, just...
Have you guys ever played True American?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a back-to-back True American champion, undisputed
We've
champion.
done that.
We should do a True American
college.
party.
We could do that.
See,
our house...
The first time we played was in
our
college.
house wouldn't be good for it. We need to find somebody with a more open area. You know what I mean? Because, like... The only place that might work is the basement in Kenny's room, but I don't even think that's big enough.
That's enough room.
Yeah.
We can do it at my house.
There you go. Or we could technically set up a course outside.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah, outside.
Summer True American.
We did
True American, the Wet Hot Summer Edition.
Oh, yeah. True American was fun in college. We did that a couple times.
Yeah,
I won both times. It's pure luck, but I won.
It's so fun.
One tradition I used to have in college, which got me in trouble in my latter years, was whenever the song Pour Some Sugar on Me came on,
Yep.
Oh,
I'd always take a beer and shake it up.
Oh, my God.
And spray it all over the room. People liked it in college.
People liked it in college.
If you do it
Turns out in a bar, they don't really like it so much.
It turns out at work, it's unacceptable.
Oh, no, we do it at work still.
No, just kidding. That's how we start off every Monday. Yep. That was a good question. College stories.
Yep.
Any other questions?
No?
I don't think so, bro.
All right.
Should I check my Snap just to be sure? Hang on.
Yeah, let's check our phones because we all
Check
post it
our
on social media.
Phones.
Gina, did your Electric Forest video resurface this year with Electric Forest going on?
It did resurface, yes.
Oh, Dad just texted us and said, "Let the games begin for the whole month. 99-cent Conies at Kirby's Coney Island."
Wow.
His birthday's in July, so he's convinced that Kirby's, because he always goes to Kirby's because he works around here. He goes to Kirby's like once a week. He's convinced Kirby's does that for him for his birthday month.
Oh.
99-cent Conies.
That's hilarious.
So we'll have to go to Kirby's and get a Coney maybe sometime soon.
Yep.
I love a good. We've found a lot of Coney Islands around here. I haven't had a Coney dog yet.
Yeah.
Which I should do
I
that.
get the same thing
I
every
should
time.
do
Everybody
that.
knows me. Everybody knows the rules. Bacon, egg, sausage,
When you're in
ham,
Traverse
substitute hash browns for tomato slice.
Shit, there's cops over there.
Hashtag,
The one's doing that.
Hashtag things you don't see in a podcast studio. Am I right?
When we were in, look at these waves. We should have brought the board, bro.
Oh, there's a nice swell coming in.
When we were in Traverse City, we stopped at this little diner, so tiny. Our cousin Michael took us to
I
it.
saw the thing on it.
Yeah, it was. All I got was chili cheese fries and an Oreo milkshake.
Same here.
So good. Great combo, sweet and salty. You know how they like to make the milkshakes?
I can't picture eating chili with Oreo
Oh,
milkshake.
dude.
Yeah.
It was about 2 in the morning, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was so good.
That's
You know how they give you your milkshake and they make it in that metal cup?
Yeah.
They gave me a milkshake.
Yes.
And then an extra cup.
And the metal cup was
Was an
full.
entire-
It was
Yeah.
like 2.
Yeah.
I've never had that much milkshake
It was such a good
before.
milkshake. We both got the same
Oh,
thing.
the Oreo milkshake.
They do that at the Coney Island on Hall Road.
Really?
Yeah.
What Coney Island is that? Is it like national?
I think it's
Oreos?
national.
Is it a
I think it's
national?
national.
I'm gonna have to go to get a milkshake and Coney Island.
I'm a big national
Grocery
guy because
shops.
they will sub your hash browns for tomato slices. Not everybody does that. Big criticism out of me right there. So thank you, National. Thank you for sponsoring this episode of that. I'm just kidding.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think the last segment, friend of Skroove.
Friend of Skroove this
The week.
week was Gina Bologna.
Gina, you're our friend of Skroove for the week.
Oh, wow.
Shout out.
Oh, my
You need
God.
You guys all need to check her out on Instagram because she does some really cool stuff. The body painting is probably some of my favorite photos of yours.
I got to get back into that.
Yeah,
Those are
I
very
love that
cool.
stuff. She does some really abstract
She
stuff.
told the story of that
in episode
and-
7
Episode 7.
of the
Go
podcast,
listen.
and you need
What's
to go
your-
back and check that out.
What's your Instagram,
Sondography.
Twitter?
Sondography.
SONDOGRA.
I'm not even going to try to spell it right now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sondography. Yeah, check her out.
Yep.
She's got the Skroove tattoo.
I do.
She's a great brand supporter. Been supporting the
fans.
brand ever since she met us,
True. Yeah.
which we love. And she's our first recurring guest
That's a big
on the
deal.
podcast. So I mean,
What
you
else
had,
can you
you had
ask
to be
for?
the
It's
friend
family
of
at
Skroove
this
for the
point.
week. You came
Yep.
back from New York just to be on the podcast.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't-
Yep, that's
Absolutely.
100% what happened.
Yeah.
12-hour drive just for an hour and a half show.
I'd do
however long
it.
this
I'd
is.
do it.
And we need to come visit you.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
I think we need to do that in the summertime
Yeah.
when it's so nice out.
You know, it's a good time to go right now.
I don't know. I think winter in New York would be really cool.
Gina, when should we come?
That's up to you guys. I'm going to leave that up to you.
We'll just show up one day.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
We have your address. We know where you live.
That's
What?
True. That's true. That's true.
Awesome. Well,
All right.
thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully the wind wasn't too bad outside.
Yes.
Hopefully the people on the video can enjoy the
Hopefully my coughing didn't
Detroit
get annoying.
skyline. Yeah, hopefully Gina didn't
You're gonna have to
scare
edit
everyone
that
away
out.
with her cough.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, Gina.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All episodes of What's Your Skroove are available on iTunes. And if you like the show, be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave a comment. As always, there are free stickers on our website, www.skroovecode.com. We'll see you guys next time.